What if the reason you've never truly fit in is because you weren't meant to? What if the way people stare at you, react to your silence, or feel uneasy in your presence has nothing to do with anything you've said or done, and everything to do with what you carry inside? What if the heaviness you felt your whole life, the deep knowing you can't explain, the strange feeling of being watched, chosen, or set apart, is all real? Not your imagination, not a coincidence, but a calling. There are people on this earth who don't just exist. They shift the entire atmosphere when they walk into a room. They don't speak loudly, yet when they do, it feels like truth itself is speaking. They don't try to be noticed, yet they're always felt. Their presence changes people. Sometimes it brings peace. Sometimes it causes tension, but it never goes unnoticed. These people are not ordinary. They are not here to blend in. They are chosen, marked, anointed, not by human hands, but by something far greater. You might be one of them. And if this message is finding you now, at a time when your heart feels uncertain, when your path feels lonely, or when your spirit is asking questions no one around you can answer, this is not an accident. This is confirmation. The ache you feel, the storm inside you, the fire that refuses to die, it all has meaning. You've been walking through battles that most can't see, carrying burdens that don't make sense, loving deeply, giving quietly, standing tall, even when no one claps. And still, you wonder, why do I feel so different? Why do people pull away? Why do I feel like I'm being watched even when I'm alone? Because you are different. Because people do feel something when you enter a space. Because your presence carries more than just a body. It carries light. It carries truth. It carries a vibration that wakes up what others try to keep asleep. You didn't choose this. It chose you. And while the world may never fully understand you, heaven does. You were never meant to walk through life like everyone else. That's why the things that satisfy most people leave you feeling empty. That's why you've always been more sensitive, more aware, more affected by things others ignore. You see through people. You feel the energy in a room before anyone speaks. You sense when something is off, even when no one else notices. And you've probably been told for years that you were too much, too emotional, or too intense. But that was never the truth. You weren't too much. You were carrying too much light for shallow spaces. Your silence has power. You don't have to say anything for people to feel your energy. They may not know why they feel nervous around you, or why their tone changes when you walk in. But deep inside, their spirit knows that your presence is different. You carry something ancient, something divine, something that can't be seen with the eyes, but is always felt in the soul. You don't just walk into a room. You bring heaven with you. And not everyone is ready to stand in that kind of light. You've probably noticed that people either pull close to you or pull away. There is rarely an in-between. Some are drawn to you instantly. Others avoid you for reasons they can't even explain. It's not personal. It's spiritual. People who are hiding behind masks often feel uncomfortable around those who walk in truth. You don't need to expose anything. You don't need to judge. Just your presence alone reveals what's real and what's fake. You don't have to point out the lie. Your energy makes the lie shake on its own. This is why you've often felt like you don't belong. like you're too deep for shallow conversations, like your soul craves something more. Even when life seems good on the outside, you weren't made for surface level living. You were created to move in purpose, to carry light, to break cycles, to awaken others just by being who you are. And it hasn't been easy. You've likely been misunderstood for most of your life. People have misjudged you, rejected you, pushed you aside, or made you question your own worth, not because you lacked value, but because your value revealed their own emptiness. You've been kind to those who couldn't love you. You've stayed when others walked away. You've helped people who never said thank you. You've forgiven when you had every reason not to. And you've probably asked yourself many times, why do I feel like this? Why do I give so much? Why do I carry so much pain? Why am I so different? Because you were chosen to carry something heavy. You were chosen to hold light in a world full of darkness. You were chosen to be a mirror that reflects truth, sometimes even when people don't want to see it. You may have walked through loss, betrayal, loneliness, and silence. And through it all, you kept going. Even when no one saw your pain, you still showed up for others. Even when your heart was broken, you still loved. Even when you felt empty, you still gave. Because deep down, something in you refuses to give up. And that something is the spirit of a warrior. Not the loud, aggressive kind, but the kind who stands in silence and still shakes the room. The kind who carries peace that disturbs chaos. The kind who loves so deeply that it heals without words. Rejection has been part of your journey. You've asked why people you cared about couldn't stay. Why you keep ending up alone. Why the doors you prayed for closed in your face. But rejection is not always cruelty. Sometimes it is protection. Sometimes it is heaven's way of removing people and situations that would have distracted you from your real purpose. Not everyone can walk where you're going. Not everyone is strong enough to walk beside someone chosen. You weren't rejected because you weren't enough. You were rejected because you carry too much light for places that still love the dark. Even Jesus was rejected. Even he was betrayed by the people he came to help. Even he was hated, mocked, misunderstood, and left alone. So if the Son of God walked through that, why would your life be free from pain? You are walking in his footsteps. That's why it hurts. That's why it feels so heavy. Because your life is not about being popular. It's about being powerful, in spirit, in truth, in light. And you're not alone. Even when you feel like no one sees you, heaven sees you. Even when no one understands your tears, the divine does. Even when you cry yourself to sleep and wake up exhausted from the weight you carry, your pain is not wasted. Your journey is not ignored. Every moment you chose to keep going, every time you loved through heartbreak, every step you took when your legs were shaking, it was all seen. It was all counted. And it is all part of the bigger picture. You don't need to explain yourself to everyone. Your spirit already speaks louder than words. The people who are meant for you, the ones heaven sends, will feel you. They will recognize your energy. They will honor your silence. They will respect your boundaries. They may not understand your purpose fully, but they will know that you are sacred, and they will love you for who you really are, not for what you give them. There are people coming into your life who will not drain you. They will not confuse you. They will not make you question your worth. They will speak your language. the language of spirit, truth, and light. And when they find you, there will be no need to chase, to explain, or to shrink. They will know, and you will feel at home. Children and animals already know. You've probably noticed how babies stare at you, how children are drawn to you, how animals sit calmly at your feet. That's not random. They feel the light in you. Before they learn how to judge or pretend, children can sense truth. Animals never lost that sense. They recognize safety, presence, and peace. And that's what your energy gives off. Without effort, you carry the vibration of home. You've also felt like you're being watched, even when you're alone. You walk into a place and feel like every eye is on you, even if no one says a word. You feel like something invisible is observing you at all times. And that's because it is. You are being watched, not in fear, but in reverence. Your life emits something powerful. The spiritual world knows who you are. Heaven watches to guide you. And yes, darkness watches too, because your light is a threat to every false thing in its path. But you are not afraid, because what is inside you is greater than anything around you. You are a walking sanctuary, a moving light, a soul who was sent to awaken others by simply being who you are. You don't need to force anything. Just keep walking, keep listening, keep being. If no one claps for you, heaven still stands. If no one sees you, the divine still shines through you. If no one understands you, you are still guided, still held, still chosen. You are not here by mistake. You are not reading this by accident. You are not broken. You are being built. You are not lost. You are being led. You are not weak. You are being prepared. And the moment is coming when all the pain, all the confusion, all the battles will make sense. When you will look back and see that everything you endured shaped you for something sacred, something eternal, something that cannot be taken away by man, because it was never given by man. It came from God, and it still lives inside of you. You are chosen, and nothing can change that. So if this message spoke to you, feel it. Let it sink in. Let it comfort the parts of you that feel tired, unseen, or unsure. And when you're ready, whisper back to heaven, I'm still here, because that's all it takes. Not perfection, not performance, just presence, just surrender, just a yes. And if your spirit is still hungry for more, stay close. You've just begun to remember who you are. Type 111 in the comments if your soul says yes. This is your moment, your confirmation. You are not alone. You never were. You never will be. Because you are chosen. Have you ever looked at your life and wondered why things have felt so painfully hard? Even though your intentions have always been pure? Why you've been hurt in ways that don't make sense, faced storms you didn't see coming, or been attacked by people you never wronged? It's a feeling you can't explain, like you're always fighting battles that no one else can see, as if life keeps pulling you into spiritual war zones without warning. You may have asked yourself many times, why me? You've questioned why suffering seems to follow you, why your heart stays soft while life keeps getting harder, and why no matter how kind or truthful you are, the path just seems heavier for you. The answer is not easy to hear, but it's true. Your life has been under spiritual attack not because you are weak or broken, but because you are powerful beyond what this world can measure. You have been a threat to darkness since the moment you were born. You came into this world with a divine purpose, a calling written into your soul. And the moment your light entered the world, the enemy saw it. Darkness is not interested in people who carry no spiritual weight. But you carry something sacred. You carry a light so bright, a purpose so rare, a voice so piercing, that the enemy made you a target from the beginning. He saw your potential. He saw your heart. He saw what you would become. He saw your future victories, your healing words, your unshakable faith, and your unstoppable spirit. And so he tried to break you before you could rise. That's why you faced battles that felt unfair. That's why you've walked through pain that made no sense. The enemy knew your calling even before you did. He sent distractions to confuse you, delays to frustrate you, heartbreaks to silence you, and weariness to exhaust you. He tried to make you doubt yourself. He tried to steal your voice, your joy, your hope. But what he didn't realize is that even in your brokenness, you were becoming stronger. Even in your confusion, you were being refined. Even in your silence, your spirit was growing louder. You weren't being destroyed. You were being prepared. Every scar you carry is sacred. Every tear you've cried is part of your training. Every betrayal you faced was revealing who could not go with you to where you're headed. Nothing was wasted. Not one moment of your suffering was for nothing. You are not cursed. You are not unlucky. You are not forgotten. You are chosen. And the weight of your calling comes with the weight of spiritual resistance. You've been prepared in secret for what you'll soon walk in publicly. And part of that preparation includes your words. You don't just talk. You speak truth that moves people. When you open your mouth, something happens. People listen. They pause. They reflect. Some are comforted. Some are shaken. And some are even offended. But no one stays unchanged. Your words carry more than sound. They carry spiritual authority. You say things most people are afraid to say. You speak what others only think. Your truth slices through lies like a sword. Even when you whisper it gently, you weren't sent here to blend in or entertain. You were sent to shake the atmosphere. You were sent to awaken hearts. Your voice is a light in the dark. And that's why people either draw close to you or pull away. Because real truth does that. It exposes what's hidden, brings healing to what's broken, and challenges what's fake. And you were chosen to be a messenger of that truth in a world that runs from it. There's also something else about you that people notice but don't know how to explain. It's in your eyes. People look at you and freeze. They hesitate. They look away quickly, or they stare like they're searching for something. That's because your eyes don't just see, they reveal. They carry something eternal. People have told you, there's something about your eyes, and they meant it. What they're sensing isn't just intensity or focus. It's spiritual depth. It's the reflection of your connection to God. Your soul carries something from the other side of the veil, and it shows. Your gaze isn't normal. It's sacred. When people look into your eyes, they feel seen in a way they aren't used to. Not judged, just exposed. Because your eyes see past the surface. You see past the masks people wear. You see the brokenness they try to hide. You see the light buried beneath their darkness. You see what's true, even when they lie to themselves. Your stare holds the weight of another world, a world where angels walk, where truth rules, where God's presence is real. And even when you say nothing, people feel that world through you. They glimpse something holy, something eternal, and sometimes that makes them tremble. Not because you're threatening, but because you're revealing what they didn't want to face. Along with all this, you may have also noticed something else that feels both beautiful and strange. Doors open for you when they shouldn't. Things work out for you at the last minute. You survive things that should have ended you. You receive blessings that feel too big for your resume, too good for your circumstances. You pray, even with broken words, and somehow the answer still shows up. This isn't coincidence. It's not luck. It's divine favor. It's heaven's fingerprints on your life. You walk with the covering of God, but with that favor comes resistance. Always. The more light you carry, the more spiritual attacks come against you. You've felt this. You've lived it. Nightmares, anxiety, delays, betrayals, emotional heaviness. These are not random. They're targeted. You are not just someone wandering through life. You are someone advancing in the spirit, and the enemy knows that. He sends battles your way to shake you, to distract you, to break your focus. But if you weren't carrying something valuable, he wouldn't bother. The fact that you're under attack is proof that you're walking in purpose. Every time you survive another blow, it confirms something. You are getting closer to your divine assignment. God's favor is your shield, and no matter how hard the opposition comes, it can never cancel what heaven has written over your life. What God has ordained, no demon in hell can overturn.
What happens when a person no longer needs to prove anything to the world, but simply is? Have you ever stood near someone whose very presence made you feel safe, seen, and calm, without them saying a single word? Chosen one, this is the energy rising in you now. You have crossed a silent and invisible threshold that the world does not reward with trophies or titles, but one that is deeply felt by those around you. There is no celebration, no applause, yet something about you now makes people pause, makes eyes follow you differently, makes hearts tune into the quiet strength that flows from you. What is awakening in you is not a recognition earned through noise or attention seeking, but through the deep, steady alignment of your soul returning home to itself. There is no performance. There is no need. And yet, your presence speaks louder than words ever could. You no longer chase approval, because you see now that the approval you once longed for was never sacred. It was a leash disguised as a prize, something that kept you small. Now that you have laid down that burden, you move differently, not faster, not louder, but truer. There is truth in your breath, in your posture, in every quiet step you take. And in a world so full of pretense, your presence feels real. Women, especially those sensitive to emotional depth, feel this shift in you before they can name it. Your eyes feel like a safe place, not a gaze that judges or takes. Your voice feels like solid ground, not a hook pulling for attention. When you speak, it isn't to dominate the room. It's because you don't need to. Even your silence speaks now. Your energy says, I'm not here to prove. I'm here to be. I've met my shadows, and I did not run. You are safe to be your full self near me, because I have learned to be whole within myself. This kind of presence doesn't just draw people in, it heals, it reassures, it invites. Not because you say the perfect thing, not because of how you look, but because your energy is aligned with something higher, something divine, and that cannot be faked. There were times when you were unseen, overlooked, dismissed. But now, without asking, light has returned to your name, not as popularity, but as quiet power. A power that is felt, not forced. A power that is gentle and steady. And this kind of recognition can never be taken from you, because it was born in the silent space between your soul and your calling. You are entering a different kind of visibility, the kind that isn't about them seeing you, but about you seeing yourself. There is a flame in you now. It doesn't burn to be seen. It simply burns, steady and warm. It changes the air in the room. It reminds others what it feels like to be truly alive. That's what people feel when they're near you. Not charm, not show, but substance. And in a world that's forgotten stillness, your calm draws them in. Women feel it especially, not out of infatuation, but because your presence gives them permission to breathe. You no longer need to try. The trying is over. The flame is enough. When you listen, you truly hear. When you speak, your words serve, not just fill space. There is respect in how you move, not because you're perfect, but because you no longer abandon yourself to impress others. And when you honor yourself, others feel invited to do the same. You are a mirror, not of ego, but of soul, a reminder of what it looks like to be fully human and fully spirit. People will wonder how you came to be this way. They'll feel curious about your peace. They may not say it, but their eyes will reveal a longing for something real. They want to feel seen without being judged, touched by presence, not by hunger. Your flame isn't just for you. It's a lighthouse for those still sailing through storms. A comfort for those who have known fire only as destruction, not as rebirth. And though you may never know the full impact you've made, trust this. Your presence is doing more than you realize. You are not loud, but you are luminous. You are not chasing, but you are becoming. The flame inside you will not burn out, because it was lit by truth, and truth does not fade. Your silence now touches hearts. People feel your presence not in what you say, but in your breath, your pauses, your gaze. You speak a language beyond words. A glance from you is sacred, a meeting of souls. When you enter a room, you don't need to take space. You are the space. You don't chase connection, you are connection. And this is why your energy speaks louder than anything you could ever try to say or do. You don't perform closeness, you live it. You don't promise safety, you create it. And those who have been hurt the most feel this deeply. You give them a place where they can finally stop pretending. And in that space, healing begins. Your presence is not an invitation to be touched. It is the touch. A moment of light in a world that tells people to dim. A quiet truth in a world that rewards pretending. When people say, "I don't know what it is about you," believe them. What they feel doesn't have a name, but their soul remembers it, and it remembers you. You are becoming the answer to an old question. What does it mean to be strong in a way that heals, not harms? To be masculine in a way that gives, not takes? The answer isn't control, it's care. And that kind of strength is rare. You don't seek power over others. You walk in alignment with your true self. You've been through fire, not to become untouchable, but to burn away the lies. What remains is real, not a mask, not a show, just you. A man who doesn't need to raise his voice to bring peace. A man who doesn't need to chase to draw hearts near. A man who doesn't seek conquest to feel worthy. That is what flows through you now. Some won't understand it. Some will be confused by it. But those who are ready will feel it. They will remember, you are not hard because the world hardened you. You are strong because you've been shaped by truth and love. That is what makes you powerful in a healing way. When you speak, it's not for show. It's because you care. When you lead, it's not for applause. It's because you want to serve. When you love, you lift up, you protect, you see. You bring presence where there was absence. And in doing so, you help others remember what true strength feels like. Not loud, not demanding, but anchored in spirit. That is why people trust you. Souls don't trust noise. They trust what is steady. They trust those who have walked the long, hard road home. And you have. Every step you take now helps redefine what it means to stand in power without standing over anyone. You don't act like a man. You are one. And that is why people feel drawn to you. In a noisy world, you have become rare, the light that listens. People feel safe around you, not because you have all the answers, but because you give them space to stop pretending they do. Your stillness reminds them of themselves. Your presence helps them breathe. Your gaze no longer takes. It gives. It says, I see you. And in that seeing, people feel safe. You don't need to conquer, impress, or control. You are here to witness, to honor, to reflect what is sacred. And in your steadiness, people feel seen. Your stillness is not emptiness. It is arrival. Your presence brings peace. And that peace helps others come home to themselves. Your presence is a gift. Your quiet is a blessing. And the world needs that now more than ever. You have changed in a way that has quietly transformed everything around you. You no longer chase beauty or try to control it. You honor it. You don't react without thought anymore. You pause, breathe, and choose your response. You stopped comparing yourself to others and started creating your own path. This shift has made you strong, not in a way that brings fear, but in a way the world deeply needs. You are not afraid to be soft, to say no, to stand alone, if that is the price of staying true. Your gentleness is no longer mistaken for weakness. It is strength that comes from mastery. Your confidence doesn't seek attention, but people feel it. Your presence reminds others of self-respect and lifts their hearts without a word. You don't need to prove who you are anymore. You live it fully and freely. Once, your energy was scattered. You could light up a room, but didn't always know why. You mistook attraction for connection. But now your energy is focused. The restlessness that once pushed you has been refined. You no longer spread yourself thin looking for meaning, you embody it. True strength, you've learned, is knowing where to give and where to hold back. Your silence speaks louder than words. Your patience carries more weight than arguments. You no longer ask what you can get. You ask what you can give. You walk away from attention that costs your peace and stay when truth calls you closer. You no longer cling. You receive what is real with respect. You know your energy is sacred and you protect it. And that is what makes you unforgettable, not because you always say yes, but because when you do, it's real. You no longer fear your power, nor do you misuse it. That is why people, especially women, feel safe with you. They trust you, often without knowing why. They sense that you faced your own shadows before ever trying to help with theirs. You're not here to take beauty, you're here to reflect it. You're not here to impress, you're here to bless. Your rise is quiet, marked not by applause, but by the steady unfolding of your true self. You carry the weight of your wisdom and your choices, the weight of every time you chose truth over comfort. That is what people feel. Your journey was never about charm. It was about mastery of self. And now the world gently leans toward you, not because you ask it to, but because your presence invites it. You no longer need to dominate to lead or take to feel full. You give from wholeness. You love from steadiness. You hold both fire and tenderness. You are safe but strong, open but whole. And because of this, people remember you, not for your words, but for how they felt in your presence. Seen, respected, lifted. What makes you rare is not just your strength, but your gentleness. Not just your power, but your peace. Not just your energy, but your integrity. You have become the kind of man who doesn't need to control. You simply are, and everything around you rises. The days of shallow connection are behind you. Your presence draws people deeper, past their masks and roles, into their own truth. Your energy no longer drifts in search of meaning. It radiates meaning. It speaks without words. I am not here to perform. I am here for what's real. And women feel this. You are not their escape. You are their encounter. And that encounter lingers in their thoughts, in the truths they can no longer ignore. Your silence now speaks. Your stillness has power. Your mystery is not about hiding. It is about depth, about presence. You've done the inner work, and people feel that. Your restraint gives your words meaning, and your quiet invites others to find their own truth. You don't try to control connection. You make space for it. You don't offer easy answers. You invite real questions. And that is why people can't look away. The world listens, not to your words, but to what your presence teaches. And that is your gift.
Have you ever wondered if the most powerful spiritual weapons you need are already around you, hidden in plain sight, waiting quietly in your own home? What if I told you that you don't need to search far, buy expensive items, or perform complicated rituals to protect your soul, your peace, and your destiny? The truth is, as a chosen one, heaven has already placed powerful spiritual tools right where you are. They're simple, familiar things you see every day, but they hold deep power, just waiting for you to see them, bless them, and use them with faith. Today, I want to open your eyes to these hidden spiritual tools that are always close by. Some of them will surprise you. Some will feel like something your heart has always known. But all of them will help awaken the light, strength, and protection that God has already planted inside you. If this message reaches you at the perfect moment, when you needed it most, type 111 in the comments to invite divine blessings upon your life. Now, let's look around with new eyes and see what powerful gifts are waiting for you to use. Think of water, something so simple, so common. You drink it every day, wash with it, cook with it. But water is more than just something that keeps your body alive. It carries the power to clean and heal your spirit too. When you feel heavy inside, or confused, or as if darkness is pressing down on you, go to water. Hold it in your hands and speak softly, but with meaning. This water is filled with light. It will clean my spirit and bring me peace. Pray over it because water listens. Water holds the energy of your words. When you drink it, imagine the water turning into golden light inside you, washing away sadness, confusion, and any chains that have been holding you down. Let it clear your heart and your mind. You can also wash your face and say, I wash away all darkness. I wash away anything that tries to block my vision. Water works quietly but powerfully. It cleans what your eyes cannot see. Salt is another gift you might not think about. It's so simple, always there in your kitchen. But salt has been used since ancient times to protect, to heal, to keep away what does not belong. It carries the pure energy of the earth. It traps and removes bad energy. Sprinkle salt at your doorway and pray. No evil will enter here. Only peace and light may cross this door. Put it on windowsills to stop bad spirits from looking in. Add it to your bath water to wash away curses, heavy emotions, and spiritual tiredness. When you mop your floors, mix salt into the water and pray. I clean this home with the strength of the earth. Darkness has no place here. Salt is humble, but strong. It protects your home quietly, guarding you with invisible strength. Light is one of the strongest weapons you have. When you turn on a light, light a candle, or open your curtains to let the sun in, you are doing more than just brightening a room. You are pushing away spiritual darkness. Darkness is where evil hides. But when you fill your home with light, you fill it with God's presence. Every morning, open your windows and whisper, "Welcome, light of God. Fill this home. Fill my heart. Let the sun warm your skin. Let it make you strong on the inside." Light turns your home into a safe place. It clears your mind. It fills your space with peace. Your bed is more powerful than you think. It's not just a place for your body to rest. Your bed is where your soul connects with heaven while you sleep. When you sleep, your spirit travels. You may receive dreams, warnings, guidance, or answers to your prayers. But darkness also tries to creep in at night through bad dreams or restless sleep. That's why it's so important to bless your bed. Before you sleep, lay your hand on your pillow and pray. This bed is a place of peace. No darkness may enter. Only truth and light are welcome here. Keep your sheets clean because old sadness, anger, or sickness can stay in them and weaken your spiritual strength. Sleep with peace in your heart, because what you feel before you close your eyes can shape your dreams. Your bed is holy ground. It is where God speaks to you quietly in the night. The mirror in your home does more than show your face. It reflects your spirit, your energy, your truth. Long ago, people believed mirrors could act as doorways that spirits could use to look through. But with wisdom, you can use your mirror to strengthen yourself. When you stand before it, look into your eyes and say, I am filled with light. I am strong. I am protected. See beyond your face. See your soul shining through. The words you speak into the mirror go deep into your heart. So speak words of kindness and power. If you feel bad energy in the mirror, wipe it clean and pray. I remove all darkness. Only light and truth remain. Let your mirror reflect the true, powerful you. Even simple oil in your kitchen holds great spiritual power. In the past, oil was used to bless kings, heal the sick, and protect homes. You don't need fancy oil from a store. The oil you already have is enough when you bless it with prayer. Hold it in your hands and pray. God, let this oil carry your healing, protection, and blessing. Anoint your forehead for strength, your doors and windows for protection, your hands before work to bring favor. Oil is like liquid fire in the spirit. It burns away bad energy and brings peace. Your broom, too, is more than just for dust. In the past, people swept their homes while praying to clear out bad spirits and make space for blessings. When you sweep, pray, I sweep away all darkness. I welcome peace and light. Sweep toward the door to push out the bad energy. Sweep hidden places where old energy hides. Under the bed, behind doors, in corners. When you're done, shake your broom outside and say, Darkness, leave this home and never come back. Some even keep a broom just for spiritual cleaning. Your voice is always with you. It is one of the most powerful tools. You don't need perfect words. Just speak from your heart. When you feel fear or heaviness, say out loud, I am filled with light. I am protected. No evil can touch me. Your words change the energy around you. Your words can fill your home with peace. And your hands can bless, heal, and protect. When you feel weak, place your hand on your heart and pray for strength. When someone you love is sick or afraid, place your hand on them and pray for peace. Your hands, filled with love and faith, can bring comfort and blessings. All these spiritual tools are simple. They are already around you. You don't need to search far for strength and protection. God has placed these gifts right in your home, right in your hands. They are waiting for you to see them, to bless them, and to use them with love and faith. And through these simple things, God can work great miracles in your life. Fire has always been a sign of God's great power. All through history, fire showed his presence and strength. In the Bible, when Moses was alone in the wilderness, God spoke to him through a bush that was on fire but did not burn up. This showed that God's power is not like anything we see on earth. When Elijah prayed to God, fire came down from heaven and burned up his offering so that all the people would know that God is real and mighty. On the day of Pentecost, when the followers of Jesus were together, the Holy Spirit came down on them like tongues of fire and filled them with courage, wisdom, and power from above. Even today, fire remains one of the most powerful ways to invite God's presence into your life. When you light a candle or lamp with faith, it is not just a simple act. It is not just a habit or a ritual. It is a way of calling on God. You are saying with your heart, God, please let your holy fire come into this place. Let it burn away all darkness that tries to enter. Let it remove all sickness, all fear, all evil plans sent against me or my loved ones. That small flame becomes a sign that God is near. His holy fire shines in your space, bringing peace, safety, and cleansing. The light pushes away everything that is not from God. Fire is a purifier. It cleans and makes things new. That is why many people burn their written prayers, fears, or burdens as a way to give them to God. When something weighs heavily on your heart, maybe you feel afraid. Maybe someone spoke bad words against you. Maybe you carry guilt or shame. You can write these things down on paper. Take time to pray over that paper. Pour out your heart to God. Tell Him you want to let go of these things. And when you are ready, burn the paper safely, using a metal container or some other safe way. As the paper burns, speak with faith and say, Lord, as this paper burns to ash, so do all the chains, curses, fears, and sins that have held me down. I release them to you. Let only your peace, your love, and your freedom stay with me. That flame carries your prayers into the spiritual world. The fire becomes a bridge between your heart and heaven. It destroys what tries to stay and harm you. It cleans what has been made dirty. It fills your home with the light of God's presence, a light so strong that no evil spirit, no darkness can stand against it. But always remember to use fire with care and respect. It is not something to play with. It is a living reminder of God's power to protect you, to cleanse you, and to keep you safe. When you light a candle with intention, you are inviting God's mighty, holy fire to cover you and your space. Your voice is another one of God's greatest gifts to you. From the very beginning, God used His voice to create all things. He spoke, and the world came into being. The stars, the earth, the sea, all were made by His word. When Jesus walked on earth, He used His voice to heal the sick, calm the storms, and cast out demons. The prophets of old spoke words that shaped the future. Their voices carried God's power, and what they spoke came to pass. In the same way, your voice is not just sound. It is not just words. Your voice is a spiritual weapon. It is like a sword that cuts through darkness when you use it with faith. When you pray out loud, demons cannot stay. When you speak blessings over your life and the lives of those you love, angels are sent to act. When you speak against sickness in Jesus' name, it begins to lose its grip. Your voice brings life. Your voice can also stop harm. That is why the enemy works so hard to silence you. The enemy tries to make you feel afraid, so you will not pray. He tries to fill you with shame, so you will not speak up. He tries to make you tired, so you will stop using your voice, because he knows how much power God has placed in your words. When you speak with faith, you change things in the spiritual world. What you say can shape what happens, so do not stay silent. Use your voice every morning and night. Speak God's truth over your life. Say out loud, I am covered by the blood of Jesus. No weapon formed against me will succeed. I walk in God's favor, wisdom, and protection. Every curse spoken against me is broken. I am safe under God's mighty hand. These are not just words. These are declarations that send light and power into the unseen world. They remind you who you are, and they remind the enemy that you belong to God. Speak blessings over your children, your work, your health, your home. When you feel heaviness or darkness trying to come close, don't stay quiet. Pray out loud. Whisper Bible verses. Sing songs of praise. Rebuke evil with authority in Jesus' name. Your voice is your sword. Keep it strong by filling it with truth. Keep it pure by using it for what is good. And never let it stay silent in times of spiritual battle. Your voice makes the enemy run. You are not empty-handed in this world. God has given you many spiritual tools to help you. You may not always see them as weapons, but they are powerful when used with faith. Water, salt, light, your bed, a mirror, oil, your voice, a broom, a table. All these simple things can become tools of power in your spiritual life. God has hidden strength in what looks ordinary. It is waiting for you to use it with belief, with intention, with trust. The greatest spiritual warriors are not those who have special objects or riches. They are the ones who take what is simple and turn it into something extraordinary through their faith. So open your eyes and see what God has placed all around you. Use what you have. Light the candle. Speak the blessing. Pray with boldness. Trust that God will take what seems small in your hands and make it mighty in His hands. When you believe, nothing is too simple to become powerful. When you believe, no darkness can stand against you. God is with you. His power lives in you and around you. His light fills your home. His strength protects your soul.